questioning for Coach Day with Bill Rabinowitz. It's Columbus Dispatch. Bill?
Welcome back to the facility, first of all. I'm sure you're happy. What's it like preparing this week for the Michigan game when we don't know if there's going to be a game? I mean, it's the uncertainty, and the game's supposed to be 4 days away. What has that dynamic brought?
It's not any different until we hear otherwise, and you can't get distracted by anything other than just getting focused on the game, because as of right now, I mean, we're going. It's coming. I mean, they're practicing, so everything we're hearing is we're playing the game. So we got to get prepared and get ready to roll and play well on Saturday and take the next step.
And I want to ask you about Haskell Garrett. This has been a trying year for everybody. Obviously, what he went through is on a different level. The fact that he came back, has played as well as he has, and handled things as well as he has. What does that say about him? What would you want to say about Haskell Garrett in this year?
Yeah, I think you're seeing the best version of Haskell. Everybody here is very proud of what he's overcome and the way he's not just the way he's playing, the way he's handling himself, the way he's leading, the way he's practicing. And he, went through a tough time. But, in life, sometimes you have these moments and it kind of shakes things up and makes you realize some things. And maybe that's what happened with Haskell. I don't know. But I can tell you this, ever since that's happened, he's had a different look in his eye. And I'm really happy that he's able to take a negative and turn it into a positive.
Thank you.
Next up, Austin Ward, Letterman Row.
Hey, Ryan. Just following up on something that you mentioned on Saturday, and absolutely not asking for specific individuals here, but if you're hoping that maybe some guys could return, would that be because of contact tracing potentially instead of a positive test? Or is there any chance that the Big Ten has followed the CDC recommendations and lowered the quarantine time?
Yeah, it would be more for, and not really in the contact tracing area, but more in the return to play. And so I know it's being looked at. I know it's being talked about a lot. And, Dr. Borchers and the medical subcommittee and Gene and, the ADs, presidents, it's all being talked about. So where it goes, I'm not sure. But I know that it's a topic of conversation, and, things change, right? I mean, this is a time where we've all changed. We've certainly changed the season. We've changed a lot of things as time's gone on, and the way, guys can administer the cardiac tests and those type of things have all changed and advanced. So I know they're taking a look at it to see if they can improve it. I
know that you try to stay focused on each day and just on football at this point. Are coaches still involved or having input on those conversations? Or are you just waiting to hear back from Gene, like, this is what we talked about, here's maybe what you may have tomorrow?
No, I mean, I think that the players and, coaches, we all talk to, Dr. Borchers, we talk to Gene, we talk to a lot of people. I mean, like you said, our focus right now is football, but we certainly give the frontline information on what we think is important and relay that to them, and they go from there. We trust that they're going to make a great decision.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yep.
Next up, Nathan Baird with Cleveland.com.
Hey, Ryan, when you went back and further scrutinized the offensive line's play from that game, I guess, against Michigan State, what did you see and what still needs to be enhanced in going up against Michigan?
Well, I mean, they're very good. They always have been. They give a lot of different looks and change up the different fronts that you're going to see and those type of things. And more importantly, they play really hard, and again, always have. So that's going to be a challenge. And they have some really good players up there. Obviously, Kwity Paye is one of the best defensive linemen in the country. So it's going to be a major challenge. Well, we saw them compete for the first time being out there. They did some good things, a lot of things to improve on, but overall they competed. But now they're on film, and now it gets harder. Guys have film to study on you, and you kind of know what to expect a little bit more. So we'll keep looking at it. We have a lot of stuff to clean up. Certainly the snaps was an issue, and got to get that fixed. But new challenge this week, and we just got to now show consistency there.
When Justin had to leave the game briefly there early against Michigan State, you went to CJ there. Is that who we should expect to see in that situation the next time?
We'll see how this week goes. It's kind of been something we've looked at week to week, and I thought he did a good job when he went in there. Jack did a good job last time he was in there, and the more reps we can get those guys, obviously the better that they're going to get.
Next up, Angelique Shengalis from the Detroit News. Angelique?
Ryan, I was just wondering, how are you communicating with Michigan on this game? And are you talking to Harbaugh? Is it Gene and Ward? How are you keeping lines open on this? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. No, I leave that up to Gene. Let Gene kind of, give me any kind of update that might come by.
And what's the latest update you've got from Michigan?
Yeah, just that the game is on and they're practicing, and so we're just going to move forward to here otherwise.
Next up, Tony Girdman, Buckeye Scoop.
Ryan, what is your favorite thing about the rivalry?
I just think what it means to so many people throughout the country, but more importantly throughout Ohio. I learned that early on, and I just take that very, very seriously, that it's a way of life, it's their identity, it's who they are. And for a whole year after this game, when they walk by and see somebody on the other side, they think about this game. And I understand what that's like, growing up where I did. And when they put that block O on their chest, or they're on a hat or something like that, and they put their flag up in on their house, or whatever it might be, it matters to them. And this game is where it all starts. And that's the number one thing when you come to Ohio State. I tell recruits that the number one job is to beat the team up north. And if we can do that, then the rest of the things fall in line. But this is it. It's all about this game. And the best way to respect this rivalry is to work it every day during the year. Think about it all the time, and do a great job preparing. So that's what we're doing right now.
And with that being said, I know you guys are focused on this game. Is Gene working possibly on a replacement game, just in case? Do you know?
I try not to get involved with those conversations. I know that he's on the phone constantly, trying to figure out what's best. And he's done an unbelievable job of being flexible and trying to figure out different ways to adjust as this has gone on this whole season. So we know that things can take a right-hand turn quickly, but all we're doing right now is just focusing on it. And I'll just wait for Gene to give me updates.
Thanks.
All right, folks, I'm not going to be able to keep Ryan the entire 30 minutes this time. We're going to cut it a little bit short, but we're still going to go ahead with some questions. If we could limit it to one question per individual, that would be great. Next up, Mitch Stacy with the Associated Press.
Hey, Ryan, if you lose this game on Saturday, should you still be able to play for a Big Ten championship?
Yeah. I mean, we don't think that way. We think of it more like March Madness right now. You win, you move on. You win, you move on, and that's really what we're focused on. But I guess by the law or by the rules, yeah, if we win, if whatever happens, if we have an opportunity to play in a championship game, we want to do that. So yeah, whatever the rules are.
Okay.
Next up, Adam Rittenberg, ESPN.com. Adam?
Yeah, Ryan, I just wanted to kind of know where you feel like your team's improved the most, even though this season's been so choppy, with stopping and starting with games, only having a handful of games.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't really know the answer to that, other than we've played 5 games, and so we wouldn't even be halfway through the season. We'd probably be in the middle, I guess, October or somewhere in there. So it's bizarre that way. We just haven't played a lot of football. So what have we most improved on? I just think it's overcoming all the adversity and the emotional roller coasters and the leadership and the character and resilience that has gone on this season, because a lot of people have gone through it. But just to see the way that the teams responded to it has been tremendous. And I think the maturity is really where we've seen it. On the field, I don't know yet. I mean, we're still growing. We're still trying to figure out what kind of team we have here. And I still don't think we played our best game yet. I mean, we missed 5 starters last week. So it's just been one of those years where things have, I guess, no, not one of those years. It's been a strange year. And we're just going to try to figure out who's available this week, figure out, what the game plan is going to be, and just try to keep growing and get better, and then try to continue to build depth.
Next up, Doug Lesmerises, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, there's so much going on. I know could ask a million questions. I just want to ask a specific guy. Luke Farrell is an Ohio kid. I know you guys have said, it seems like you just have felt good about the tight end room all year. Only has 3 catches this year, but I don't know. It just seems like he's a guy who kind of does his job each week. What have you seen from Luke in his career in this year?
I've seen excellent play this year. I think he's played really, really well. He played really good in the game last week. He was open on a route where protection broke down. We didn't quite get it to him. He's wide open for a touchdown in the corner. Nobody's on him. And then the next play, he has to block the defensive end on really a tough leverage play, and blocks and strains just enough so that Justin can get the ball to Garrett for a touchdown. But nobody sees those type of things. And that's Luke Farrell. He's unselfish. He's tough. He's playing really good football. And I think you're going to see he's going to get his catches. He's going to start getting his touches. He deserves that opportunity. And, we're going to try to do that, help him out. But he's played at a high level. He's very unselfish, and he's shown great leadership.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yep.
Next up, Kyle Rowland, Toledo Blade.
Hey, Ryan. Aside from the playoff and Big Ten championship implications, if this game is canceled, just how disappointing would that be to you guys? I mean, this game kind of, your whole season revolves around it. The state of Ohio kind of revolves around it, just to not have a Michigan game for a year.
Yeah, trying not to go there. Just in that, the disappointment and all that stuff is getting old. So we'll just try to stay positive and try to focus on the game until we hear otherwise. But I think you kind of have, you asked the question, you kind of know what the answer would be. So let's not go there. Let's just try to focus on the game and get ready to play the game until we hear otherwise.
Next up, Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
Is he on mute? I can't quite hear him.
Rob, you there? All right, try to get going there, or get that corrected. Rob, we'll go to Heather Dinich, ESPN.com. Heather?
Hey, Ryan, how do you feel specifically about the Big Ten's rule that you have to play 6 games to qualify for the championship?
I think it's one of those things that was put into place early on, and decisions are made based on the information you have at the time, and then things change, as we know. Our season that was on, and then it got changed to a conference only. Then it got changed to no season, and then we got changed to a season. So, there's been a lot of changes, and I just think, we have to take a hard look periodically at all this stuff. And I think that this is one of those situations. And, if we don't quite get the games we need to get into the championship game, then I think that needs to be looked at hard, just like anybody else in the conference. But there's no easy solution in times like this. So, I know those guys are going to come together and take a hard look at it and make sure that it was the right decision.
Next up, Dennis Dodd, CBS Sports Online. Dennis?
Yeah, Ryan, it occurred to me in recruiting next week that I don't know if you've thought of this. You can't bring players on campus, obviously, but some of these conferences like the SEC and Big 12 that allow fans can have prospects, I guess, come to games, even if it's unofficially. Is that any kind of disadvantage?
I think it's a big time disadvantage, yeah. Yeah, we have recruits even last weekend who went and visited other schools and were in the stands watching games, and we can't do that. So, yeah, that's certainly a disadvantage.
What's this been like? Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
Next up, Dave Biddle, 24/7 Sports. Thanks, Dennis.
Hi, Ryan. I hope you're feeling well. DeJuan Jones seemed to play really well. Is he going to be a tough guy to kind of keep off the field moving forward? And just a quick follow-up. You've touched on this a little bit. Do you feel like there's a chance your numbers on the O-line could be a little better this weekend?
Yeah, thanks, Dave. I think DeJuan, if he continues to play the way he's playing, he deserves to play. That was a good start. Now he's got to show consistency and have a good week of practice, but played well, and now we'll kind of see where he goes. He's got to be able to play consistently. He flashes. Consistency is critical. And, in the O-line, we'll see. We'll just see as the week goes on. But we're hoping to, as time goes on here, start to, piece back together that O-line.
Thanks, Ryan.
Next up, Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
You're going to have to put a sign up on the thing. We can read it.
You want to text the message to us, Rob? Next up, Dom Taberi, WBNS TV. Dom?
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good, bro.
30-point favorite you guys are. I don't think I've ever seen that in this rivalry game. Just your thoughts on that. And then when you look at Michigan, what do you see when you see them, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, in this rivalry game, you throw all the records out. I mean, there's no rules. And so, that is what it is. We got to go play this game. This is a team who, has really good talent. They have really good coaches. And, maybe they haven't played their best ball this year yet either. It's hasn't been a very long season. So, I mean, we're midway through this thing where typically we have 12 games or 11 games to go upon leading into this game. This is just so different. It's like playing them at mid-year. And so there's just, you don't know. And they flashed. They've done some really good things. And so we gotta be ready to play. We got to show up. We got to play physical. We got to start executing better than we have been if we want to, beat a team like these guys. And so as we start getting into more and more of these games in the postseason, like this is a postseason game to me. This is a playoff game right here. And we got to go start executing at a higher level than we've been. And if we do that, good things are going to happen. Good news is we've been playing with energy. We've been playing with some toughness. Now we just got to, really improve this execution.
Just time for a couple more. Next up, Clay Hall, WSYX. Clay?
Hey, Coach, good to see you. Does it still stick in your craw that some comment that Coach Harbaugh made this summer, kind of jumping into your business, and your supposed reply was, "We'll hang 100 on them." Does that come around this week?
I mean, that was all back in the summer, and now it's all about right now. It's about focusing on what's important, and this is all about, for us, it's about trying to learn, like, how good are we really going to be, and so there's so many things that come in and distractions and things that happen when you get into this type of game. But for us, we just have to focus on getting better at practice. And so there's going to be a lot of things that are said here and there, but we just got to go find a way to win the game. And that's all that matters. And there's certainly there's a lot of competitiveness that goes into this game, but at the end of the day, we just got to do a great job in practice this week, put a good game plan together, and go play really hard on Saturday. That's all that matters.
Thank you, sir.
Next up, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors. Dan?
Hey, Ryan, I know with, senior day coming up this week, you guys kind of have a unique situation with, guys getting an extra year of eligibility. Does that factor in at all to who's honored during senior day on Saturday?
Yeah, but when we went through the list, it really wasn't that much of an issue. There was a couple guys that decided they wanted to, a couple guys that decided they didn't. And so we just kind of let them decide. And it was only a few. Most of the guys, they actually fit pretty good. So different senior day for sure. Very, very unique. But we're really proud of these seniors.
Thanks, Ryan.
And last two individuals. Next up, Tino Bovenzi from Spectrum One. Tino?
Hey, Coach Day. Obviously, you came down with the virus. I just wanted to ask you about, the process of that for you, what that was like, what were your symptoms, and then now, obviously, returning to coaching in the biggest game of the year for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah, I mean, it was it's been a tough, really, 6 months, and took very, very seriously how important it was to set an example for the entire state of Ohio and how we handled our business here in the Woody. And I knew, it was important to show Ohio that, we were going to do things the right way and how serious this was. So when it all came down, I was crushed. It's a little bit of an embarrassment. I felt like I let people down, but at the end of the day, this county was in purple. Franklin County was one of the highest rates in the entire country. And so after a couple of days of feeling sorry for myself, I kind of dug myself out and said, okay, we got to move on here. Didn't feel a ton of symptoms, but that's, different people felt it different ways. A lot of time to reflect and think about, people that have been affected during this time. And so we're just going to do everything we can again to just create a great example for how to handle it, which I think as a program, we've done an unbelievable job with everything that's gone on here, the amount of people that we have in the building and how serious we've taken this. So we'll continue to do that and communicate and how important it is for our community.
And last questions come from Bill Landis with The Athletic. Bill?
looking at your run game, the last two games seemed like the Michigan State game was a lot of downhill stuff, and the Indiana game you were hitting them pretty good with some more outside stuff. I'm just wondering how you feel about the variety you guys have there in the run game, how you think it's been building. I know you've only played 5 games, and whether the fact that you've had to work in some new offensive linemen might complicate that momentum at all.
Yeah, we have different ways to attack week in and week out, and we try to make sure we have ways to go inside, outside, and have enough of change up so that we can keep them on their heels. And then you like to kind of keep calling the ones that work. And based on who you're playing, sometimes you favor one thing more than another. But I think the O-line and the running backs, the tight ends have gotten to a good rhythm of how we're trying to attack teams. And so we'll just keep trying to diversify the run game the best we can and keep it going, because I think the last couple of weeks we're building some momentum there.
Thanks.
Coach, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you on Thursday. Have a great week until then.
Thanks, guys.